Okay, welcome to part 3 of mission 2 of my playthrough and lore discussion of Dishonored. Won't spend too much time on intro here at this point, but I am going to try and get through this mission in this video. I hope I can. I think I can, so let's get started.
How did it pass me by? All the others down with sickness.
Alright, let's go talk to Griff, buy some stuff off of him. Don't need any bullets.
Want to look at some of the things I found? Good prices, I swear.
Alright, let's get some sleep darts. And some blueprints. Lens magnification, so here's where you get unlocks for your upgrades. Although a lot of this stuff you'll find during the mission, so maybe I shouldn't buy it. Okay, so let's go finish Galvani's house. If you fail to save Griff from the Bottle Street thugs before, he'll show up later in this location as a weeper. You can leave a farewell note as well, and obviously you won't get to use his services. There's that safe we did not get last time.
What?
Hide from the maid. Let's go this way.
It was nothing after all.
It's always nothing. It was the wind. Probably rats. Alright, coast is clear.
I have to keep this position. He says to bring a bottle, I bring a bottle. He says
And
to
the
bring
combination
food,
with the safe is, it was written on the chalkboard upstairs, but also his bedroom here, very nice green themed bedroom. Let's see what's back here. Yep, see, didn't have to buy those sleep darts after all. Alright, Galvani's journal. I've been invited to a soiree at the Boyle estate. Of course, I won't attend. The 28th day of the 7th month, the month of high cold, is the day I met Anton Sokolov at the academy. Why would I tarnish the anniversary of the most important day of my life by licking aristocratic boots? I have no time for fools. I will be solving the riddle of this plague. Perhaps I'll raise a cup of Tivian red. So there's the clue to his safe, 287.
I have to keep this position. He says to bring a bottle, I bring a bottle. He says to bring food, I bring food. He says to undress, I undress.
Mine kind
I
of
told her to
loses
keep the
its
children inside.
impact when you hear it from every maid NPC over and over. There was a note on this. Oh no, it's on the labs upstairs. It tells us the name of the maid. Maid is Ms. Benton. Alright. 8. 7. So you can actually rob Galvani twice in Dishonored 2, and then again in Death of the Outsider, so it's kind of a tradition.
I told her to keep the children inside. So I told her.
Oop. Actually drive the poor man to move away from the city entirely after he's been robbed so many times.
Let me know if you want to gamble on the hounds again.
Third stricture. Excerpt from a work detailing one of the 7 strictures. Restrict the restless hands, which quickly becomes the workmates of the outsider. Unfettered by honest labor, they rush to sordid gain, vain pursuits and deeds of violence. Of what value are the hands that steal and kill and destroy? Instead, put your hands to the plow, the fork, and the spade. For even the lowliest labor that is rigorous squeezes the muscles as a sponge, rinsing impurities from the mind and body. Avoiding the rat plague. Excerpt from a government protocol on disease practices. Much of the public still harbors false beliefs related to the plague. It is not true that the bile from river crusts will protect against contraction of the disease, nor is it true that crushed Morley orchids act as a remedy, though it is speculated that both of these ingredients are used in both Sokolov's elixir and Pierre's remedy. Consumption of these products before exposure to the plague constitutes the only known means of resisting the disease. Further, the Abbey of the Everyman warns against superstitious practices. Not only is it ineffective to burn 2 hagfish and a cat together, inhaling the vapors while chanting the names of the plague dead, but it is also considered heresy by the overseers and will be met with the full measure of the Abbey's laws. Tell your neighbors and practice these things yourself. Avoid contact with the infected. Consume your ration of elixir daily, preferably in the morning, and report anyone suspected of carrying the plague. Everyone must work together to stop the spread of the dreaded contagion. It's assuming you can get your hands on elixir. If the City Watch doesn't steal it. So many things here I don't need. Wanted. Slackjaw. Reward 2,000 coins. The offenses of this man are high crimes under the strictures of the High Overseer, the municipal laws of the City Watch of Dunwall, and the edicts of our brave Lord Regent in this time of peril. Anything here? No. So there are some guards out here. If we go past them into this kitchen, and then into this hallway. Nobody there. Right. So we find Galvani has, well, an arm. An arm there, and some rats penned up in this closet. Keys. And see, feeding log. 4th day, month of wind, assorted human remains, strong appetite. 10th day, month of wind, 1 bag, Tibian pears, bruised, rotted, rats uninterested. 11th day, month of wind, 1 tin, potted whale meat, eaten. 13th day, month of wind, human torso, no trouble finding corpse parts. 17th day, month of wind, no feeding. Aggression increased, incident of cannibalism. 20th day, month of wind, incident with previous maidservant, will withhold feeding until 1st day, month of darkness. So he's feeding the rats human remains, then withholding food, making them very aggressive. So he eventually fed them this maid. And if you let them out, they will go out and eventually attack these guards here. Do we want to do that? Let's do it. Come on. There they go. Of course, now they only sense me, so we can come over here. There they go. Which will allow us to escape unimpeded. That was fun. So I think that's everything in Galvani's house, finally. Okay, see if we can sneak past the guards here. Wall of light. Interesting thing about the walls of light, they actually don't have an unlimited oil. If you chuck things in there, objects or corpses, enough, it'll drain the oil that's in the receptacle that powers it, so eventually it'll run out and the wall of light will disappear. That's why these guys are always saying the oil in these things doesn't last long enough, because it actually does run out. So if you're out of options, that's one way of getting past it. Just throw stuff at it until it's out of power. This guy will kick you if you get close, so let's just play.
Get lost.
So you're now at the corner of Bottle Street and Gaff Street. And if we sneak behind here. We can listen to
Cold
some
as a whaler's gaff hand.
gang
50
dialogue.
years old at least. This guy fought for the Empress.
Cratchit jelly
Forget
deals.
his old ass. I can't even remember the Empress. We tagged it plain. Under Clavering Street is ours. Come on. What's the take?
20, plus 2 elixir.
Look like 25 to me.
Look here, it's 20. It's 5 each, counting boo.
You want me to check your pockets?
Let it go, kid.
Don't call me kid. You think you can cheat me? Come on, let's die.
See, they're arguing over
That settles that.
the take. 5 coins difference.
Right. So how does 25 split 3 ways?
It is 25. They were cheating.
What? Buddy, give me a hand. You fight.
Yep, it was 25. So there's actually kind of an informal arrangement between the gangs and the City Watch that certain streets belong to one or the other side. I don't think there's a whole lot of lore in this area here. There's a little side alley there, the next mission, but I don't think there's much. There's a rune here. And Corporal Meadows, we found this strange rune on the woman who used to sell pastries up the street. Not sure how she died, but since the thing looks superstitious, we set it aside for the overseers. After your shift is over, take it to them for disposal or whatever they do with them. Don't forget.
Huh?
Oop,
To us!
that's okay.
Just disappeared.
Ground them and go. Rescue Martin here.
Hello. I hear the second day is when the skin really starts to come all the way off. Is that true? Or is it the itching that really gets you? Or the rats?
Jasper, isn't it? It's not so bad in here. Except I miss your wife.
Huh. You don't scare easy, I'll give you that. But that'll change.
What a sight you are in that mask. I know who you are and what you're here to do. And I can help. Unlock me and I'll buy you a drink in a couple of days. By the void, I'll buy you 100 drinks.
Let's see what the heart has to say about him.
There are few brave enough to laugh in the outsider's face.
I have poor circulation and I seem to have forgotten my mittens, so I'd appreciate it if you could release me or at least go gather some firewood.
Do not be deceived by his talk of strictures. Martin's crimes weigh heavy on his spirit.
You never appreciate the fine masonry of Dunwall's cobblestones until you've had your face hanging over them for days on end.
He has been a soldier, a highway robber, and a man of faith.
Nothing would make me happier than joining you and the others, especially if they've tapped some
Nice
of the
rhythm
finer
going here
kegs
between the
they
heart
left
and
in
the
pub.
dialogue.
He wonders which is more powerful, the knife or the tongue.
The lever is just to my right here, Corvo.
He always had his sights set on the Abbey's highest office.
Outsider's eyes, these things chafe.
There are few brave enough to laugh in the outsider's face. But T. Martin is one.
Free me, and I swear I'll dedicate myself to our common cause. Feels good to stand up straight. Thank you, Corvo. What you're here to do tonight is of the highest importance. We've got to find Emily, so kill Campbell and make it quick. Once it's done, search his body for the journal, his notorious black book, and get out of there. Campbell is meeting with a guard named Curnow, and word from my informant is that Campbell is going to poison him. Maybe you can use that to your advantage. Alright, I won't be of any help here, so I'll make my own way back to the Hound Pits pub. If I see Samuel the boatman, I'll tell him to pick you up in the backyard, behind the office of the High Overseer. May all the spirits guide you, and may our enemy's head hit the floor without you taking a scratch.
Okay, so now we can go take a look at our own wanted poster. Wanted for the most heinous murder of our fair Empress Jessamine Caldwin. 30,000 coins. Reward will be paid by the City Watch in addition to rewards offered by private citizens or outstanding organizations. The offenses of this man are high crimes under the laws of the City Watch and the edicts of our brave Lord Regent. Here's a map. A couple of ways in. First you have to come up over this fence and go up there over that vent. Also go this way.
I was just reading in the archive about the Heretics brand.
Learn about our
It sounds painful.
Heretics
Have you ever
brand.
seen the ritual?
I've never seen the Heretics brand used.
Non-lethal
No,
option.
It's a rare occurrence. But I did spy the face of one so branded. A former member of our order, of course. Out on a retreat, we passed through a fishing town and saw him begging.
What were his crimes?
Who can say? The brand is reserved for an overseer, or even the High Overseer himself, who violates our codes and must be cast out permanently. Remember the 7 strictures, and you never need worry about such matters.
I will, brother.
Okay, so a little about this switch. Don't use the switch. Apparently there's a bug where if you use the switch, it will make Curnow hostile to you no matter what you do. I don't know why you would use the switch. You're already over the fence. You're not coming back this way, but just so you know. Easiest way here is to go through this little room here.
Probably rats to everything.
Always rats. I mean, there are a lot of rats, to be fair. Some loot in this cabinet here. Wire tool. Generally don't buy rewire tools. You'll find them in missions where you can use them. So. Now I'm gonna save here, and because there are a couple of ways you can get in to the office. So I'll show.
Think you'll get your own squad after what
So
happened?
firstly, you can go down here
Chances are very good.
into this sewer area. Pause in this little area. You can actually pickpocket this guy from all the way down here. Apparently have very long arms in addition to huge hands. These aren't the worst, it's not the worst climbing mechanic, chains and ladders that I've seen in games, but it's not the best either. To the Kennels. And before we do that, look out here. This actually leads to the outer courtyard, and you can actually climb up if you can blink far enough, you can get in some open windows right up there, but we'll take the scenic route first. Go to the Kennels. Don't usually like going through the Kennels. It's kind of a tedious
Do not let your
slog. You
keen
got
eye
these guys you gotta knock out or sneak by if you're
There's
doing a
word
non-lethal
of
run.
bad men about. Here's a good boy. Good boy, just.
I don't think hounds count for kills, but they do count for detections. Yeah, you see they're alerted. You can't really shoot through bars. I mean, you can kind of, but you're not really guaranteed to. Drop down here, get some stuff. Top up, take that. And they train these hounds to chase people down, attack people, but they won't attack the overseers. Oop. That guy just bashed his head. That might count as a kill. That's... Oh no! Unconscious. Okay. But as you see, yeah, you're detected by the hounds, they become kind of aggressive. So release cages, we will not open those. If you release them, they will, they'll attack you, but they won't attack the overseers. Except for this case right here, Sick Hound. Voracious has fallen ill. I have gone to fetch some medicine for the hound, but in the meantime, do not open his cage. He is prone to fits of violence, and this would endanger the other overseers in the building. Signed, Houndmaster Wharton. So this hound, if you wanted to go that way, you could release that hound and would attack the other overseers. In here, I think we find... Alright, we find this release lever here, which fits into F. Same thing that we saw before. Voracious isn't ill and will endanger anyone. It's weird, it's almost the same note, but it's not exactly the same. But if we open cage F, we find that there are some prisoners in here, leftovers of prisoners, been imprisoned, and been given a copy of the strictures. 7 strictures. Excerpt from a commonly distributed overview of the 7 strictures. Surround your innermost being with these strictures, and you will be safe. The 7 strictures are our core principles, taught and reinforced by overseers across the Isles. From these principles stem all manner of rules, social codes, and beliefs about the cosmos. So the 7 strictures are: wandering gaze, lying tongue, restless hands, roving feet, rampant hunger, wanton flesh, and errant mind. All these behaviors must be restricted in order to keep one's heart free from malevolent influences. They are the inroads of the outsider. And that will become useful to us. Here, the bit is... There is a door code here. Locked room. Somewhere around here. Maybe we have to go around again to find it. This place, I always get lost in here. Now there it is. Alright, loot cache. Oliver, I've taken the loot we've gathered and stashed it in the incinerator room. It's under the dead hound, so nobody will dig around and find it. Look to your strictures to figure out the door code. Lying tongue, wandering gaze, errant mind. I trust you are devout and clever enough to figure it out. I want to be mindful of rats. More and more have been gathering since old Finn keeps forgetting to burn the hound corpses. Burke. Okay, tongue, gaze, mind. So if we go back... Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. Right, tongue, gaze, mind. 2, 1, 7. And for our trouble, we get rats. But also some loot, most of which I don't need. I can't remember if there's some actually under the house. I don't think there is. No. Okay, so that's how you do that. I think that's most of everything we can do in the kennels, and now we can go to the interior. Whelping and training hounds. Excerpt from a hound trainer's guide. From each litter, there's usually somewhere shy of 4 good pups, but we always drown the runt. Very nice. Them that remain spend 3 or so months sucking from their mothers before we start 'em up with the training. It's simple at first, returning sticks and sitting still on command, only pissing outside and the like. But by the 8th month, we got 'em up hunting for scented sack dolls hidden in a scrub forest, killing wild pigs on command, and taking a man in padded armor down by hanging onto his forearm. At the end of the first year, we graduate the ones that have learned and shoot the ones that haven't. The overseers take them after that, and we never see them again. Except once. Walking down Clavering Boulevard, an overseer passed me, preaching about the litany on the White Cliff and the evils of witchery, and sure enough, his hound started whimpering and wagging its tail. That's how I knew it was one of mine, whelped up from a pup. Seventh stricture. Restrict the errant mind before it becomes fractious and divided. Can 2 enemies occupy the same body? No, for the first will direct it one way, and the second another, until the body stumbles into a ditch and its neck is broken. Likewise, 2 contrary thoughts cannot long abide in the mind, or it will grow weak-willed and subject to any heresy. Yeah. Alright, let's go to the office. And immediately we come upon Campbell's secret room. Touch Holger's eye, and the door opens up. So you can guess what he might use this for in this room. Here's this painting that we encountered at the beginning of the game, and you can see the cider bottle has been painted out. Take that, 300 coins. You can collect all the Sokolov paintings in the game. Here, take some loot. Rune. Litany on the White Cliff, we already read that. Audiograph.
Curse those fools in Coldridge for letting Corvo get away. Who knows what the man could do now? Hiram, or the Lord Regent, as he asks us to call him now, seems to have faith in all the Sokolov security devices he's put up all over the city, but I'm not so sure. At least the girl has been moved to a safe place. Visiting her twice a week has given me ample opportunity to inspect the facilities, as they say. So there's an upside, at least.
so we got some mattresses, some bras. And some sleep darts. Little Bill Cosby action going on here. My girls. Campbell, I'm not sure how my predecessor operated, but from now on, if any of my girls tries to blackmail you, you send her back to me at the Golden Cat instead of concocting some plan on your own. I've had to replace 3 girls in as many months, and you can imagine the business of carnal pleasure isn't booming in this plague-stricken hole you call a city, Madam Prudence. This is his little sex dungeon. Interesting thing about this music, this is actually a real piece of music. It's by a composer named Luigi Boccherini. It's a violin duet number 2. And I didn't just happen to know that. I did brush up on my lore before starting this mission. But turn that off. That looks out on the tunnel that we came through before. Oh, what's that book? The Fugue Feast. We already read that. Alright, so this is one way in to the office. Here's the main hall. So now let's reload and look at another way in. So here we are back at this door.
Things are bad. Could the city get any worse?
Chances are very good.
So the other way, if you want, you can come this way past the sewer entrance, go into the backyard.
Huh?
What's now?
I know you're here somewhere, scum.
Stand on top of the light. You can stand on top of the streetlights, but if you try to stand on top of the...
Where'd he go? Got you now.
Okay, if you try to stand on the loudspeakers, you'll just fall.
She's my sister. She's not a witch. I know
we have this little episode
Out
here.
of the way. You expect preferential treatment just because you are her brother? She will burn. All witches must burn.
Thinks she's a witch, so take this guy.
I swear I've done nothing.
Sleep dart.
Silence.
Grenade.
You appeared as if from nowhere. We would both be dead if not for you.
We are forever in your debt. I cannot thank you enough.
I must get my sister to safety. But first, I may know of a way to thank you. There's a safe in the bunkhouse. The combination is 203. Take what you want, and good luck.
Okay. I'll sneak in the back way and choke out this guy while he's peeing. Very dignified. His key. Long live the Empress, but she was a wench. Some political commentary there. And if you come up here, and there's this little area that not a lot of people catch. And there's this, little tripwire. Go around that. This rat-infested place, and you find they are destroying or trying to destroy bone charms. Let's see the bone charm situation. except from a report on the office of the High Overseer by High Overseer Gerard. I was asked, should we not tolerate the possession of simple bone charms among the populace? Surely this is a trivial matter, merely a cultural practice seen across the Isles, not as terrible as the creation and coveting of more complex occult runes. Such an insidious question. This foolish distinction weakens our mission, while the stench of the outsider grows thick around us. Perhaps, as some claim, our ancestors tolerated these cursed practices during the times before our modern empire rose, to ease the lives of the lowliest serfs as they paved the roads to civilization. But there is no excuse for witchery in this brighter industrial age. Having adjudicated the trials of many heretics myself, I swear that their eyes, as the clarity of pain took their lives, were grateful to be liberated. Somehow I kind of doubt that, but... Alright. More tools. Trevor, we are going to need another shipment of tools to destroy these accursed bone charms. Though we managed to break down over a dozen last month, there are more coming in from all over the Bristol, and the things are remarkably resilient. Now, I believe it's possible, I'm not sure if I'm going to get this, but I believe it's possible to blink onto a chain and see if... Yay! There we go. Okay. Alright, so this backyard is kind of a difficult area. There's lots of overseers. So let's see if we can not alert them. Now, if we look up at this... oh wait, let me come back a bit. Okay, so if you look up at this location, if you look up in the corner, you see this smoke. And the actual model of what that is, it's just a sack. It's a kind of a body-shaped sack. But what it's supposed to be is one of Dowd's whalers, who is keeping an eye on you, and has blinked away just as you look at him. So now we're in the workshop, lots of stuff to explore here. Exploding hounds. Bartholomew, I've seen the harnesses that you've been devising in that workshop of yours. If you plan to strap explosives to my precious hounds and make living bombs out of them, you can count me out of your plan. I'm the master of the hounds here, and without my training, they'll never do as you request. Signed, Houndmaster Wharton. So he's the one who put up the notes down in the kennels we saw before. And here we see a music box. If you encounter this later in the game, you can see what happens. It has this effect here. Music box. Overseer Humphrey, I left you a copy of the ancient music, so you might familiarize yourself with the principles I'm employing in this latest variation of Holger's device, or the music box as the men call it. As you should know, it produces harmonies that render heretical energies or magic inert through counterbalancing mathematical principles. Read the book and then make yourself useful by finding some subjects to test it on. This city is choked with corruption and superstition, so I trust you won't have to look far. Signed, High Artificer Bartholomew. And you see some musical notation there as they work out the music boxes. Take the rune, audiograph.
We cannot doubt the effectiveness of Holger's device, or the mathematical beauty of the music itself. We've seen it in action against the forbidden practices too many times to deny it. But the question no one wishes to ask is the incantation itself black magic? The boxes are priceless. But what's inside?
And here you find this replacement valve. Humphrey, would you see to it that this valve gets installed in that little supply depot by the loading docks? The men have been grumbling about this thing for what must be months now. as if there was anything of value on the other side of that door it's supposed to open. Keep quelling problems like this for me, and you just might make apprentice. Signed, High Artificer Bartholomew. This opens the door on the other side of the yard. But there's a better way to get in, sneakier way. So I'm not going to bother with that right now. The Metaphysica Mysterium, excerpt from a longer band work on supernatural ritual. It is said that we should not sully our hands when combating the forces of the void. My studies have been deemed heretical by my brothers, but the rewards have been invaluable. I have harnessed the same energies employed by the outsider and his accursed followers while avoiding their corruption. I will prescribe a twofold method in this text. Indirection. As the unwholesome powers of the outsider use living flesh as a conduit, we can avoid being tainted by using the flesh of others instead. Containment. By using channels and barriers, we focus these void energies in a raw state, shielding them from the perverse perspective of the outsider. I have no idea what that means. Concerning the crossbows. Campbell, we initially thought it a great find when we came across some of the crossbows that the assassins had been using to harry our patrols. The models we found, however, have proven lacking. Dowd's men have greater accuracy and range, and I swear theirs reload faster. I'm recommending that we stick with pistols and sabers and count this as a lesson in where our strengths lie. Sincerely, High Artificer Bartholomew. Alright. Actually, probably not going to go out that way. Come back up this way. Try to stay a bit stealthy or a little longer. Now, as I said, the backyard is full of stuff, so it's not always easy to cross it without being seen. Try a few things.
No, it's just a little cough. I'm fine. I feel completely fine.
Fine. Look at you. You have the plague. You are trying to conceal it from us, your brothers in the Order. Was that your intent? To spread the malady to us?
No, friend. I tell you, I am well. As fit as ever. Put down your weapons. Just think for a moment before you...
He was sick. Very, very sick. That much I'm sure of. Now to find some way to dispose of the body without spreading his illness.
There's actually two versions of this clip. There's this one, and one where the guy admits that he's sick and he asks the others to kill him. I would have thought that it was based on your chaos, but we've been low chaos so far, so I'm not sure why we got that one. So, I don't know. We can link over here. So this is the room that is opened by that crank wheel we saw, but we can come in the back way here because we have blink. Come in the window. It's this door here. We see a dead overseer and bone charm. Hiding place. Day 15, month of timber. I managed to steal away one of the charms they were smashing in warehouse A. Smashing them! Such beautiful and powerful things, and my brothers have no idea. They'll never find me back here, though. Nobody ever comes back here. I can brick up the door, and they'll never find me. It's all mine. My precious. Spheres, we read that. The Outsider. Excerpt from the Diary of a Known Heretic, seized before his execution. For most, the outsider is nothing but a child's tale meant to instill fear of that beyond the family, the community. When I was young, my mother and I were on the run, moving from one village or sea town to the next, camping in the woods for weeks, always with the cursed overseers at our backs. At night she told me of her dreams, of the empty place where the outsider whispered to her. With each visit, her craft grew until she could see through the eyes of moths and unlock a door or window latch from outside a house. I will find this empty place. Somehow, the key to open the void will fall into my hands. In time, I will learn the secret, and he will call to me as he called to her. Call me a heretic for my studies, drag me to your cold stone cell, whip my flesh and put me on trial as an apostate, burn my body to ash. But I will continue to seek the realm of which my mother spoke. It is my life's meaning. Okay. If we don't want to open the door, we can get out the same way we came in. Nice view out on the river there. Sometimes you get stuck on these edges here. Agility is very useful. Places you can get to, you don't even have to use blink. So this is the bunk house. Let's see if we can get in here. And that's what it looks like when the hound rips your throat out. So I said it doesn't matter what difficulty you play on, if you know how to do stealth. It's mostly true, it's not completely true. Moving a little bit faster than I otherwise would because I don't want this to be any longer than it needs to be. Young Prince of Tivia, we already read that, unfortunately. Probably some contraband hidden underneath the bed there. Apprenticeship. Hi, Artificer Bartholomew. I'd appreciate it if you would consider promoting me to your apprentice, formally, so that I might work with you full-time. Thank you. Humphrey. Well, that's one draft. Let's see. Here's some others. Draft 1. Bartholomew. I'm sick of mopping your floors and dusting your shelves. All of this in hopes of receiving the crumbs of knowledge that you cast my way. If you think I'm going to wait around forever... Nah, it's not going to work out. That's not a good choice. Draft 2. Dear High Artificer, this is in regards to my being chosen for the position of your apprentice. If you don't mind, I would appreciate it if you looked at my record of service over the last several months. You will find that I've been, too obsequious. Draft 3. High Artificer, I was visited by Holger himself in my dreams last night. He told me that I was to do great works for the Abbey, to cast out darkness where I find it, to help arm my brothers with weapons that reach beyond the physical and into the very heart of the outsider. I think I am ready for this task. Well, keep working on it. Sometimes these rooms have a hound kind of sleeping in the corner and you have to not wake it up. Alright, so here's that safe that we were told of. What's the combination? 203? Yeah. And unfortunately not too much loot. Pouch and some elixir which we don't really need. Alright, so let's go. Oh yeah, that's right. They have a little post box. So let's read their mail. Edmund, it has come to my attention that you know where my sanctum is. If I catch you loitering by the statue of Holger again, hoping to run into and perhaps liaise with one of my guests, I'll have you branded a heretic and cast out of the city. Regards, High Overseer Campbell. So somebody found his secret room. Wyndham, last night was wonderful. I am right at this moment imagining your arms around me, and your breath on my neck. I feared for our lives when your fellow overseers found us, but you proved resourceful as always. And no, I won't take your slurs and threats personally, for I know you were merely trying to throw off any suspicions they might have had of us. I hope to see you again soon, and perhaps in 2 nights when you have leave once more. Dear Harold, I don't generally do this, but I come across a letter your parents sent when you were first taken to Whitecliff. Remember that we have rules in place to spare you the decision of trying to make contact with them. We can no longer walk among those we seek to protect. If you would at least read this letter to him. Though your motives may be just, we know he's probably scared right now, and we are unable to be there for him. Son, we missed you. We are so sorry we can't come to you now and take you from wherever they've stolen you away. Be strong, son. We know you will see your way through. Please remember us and try to find us when you're free. We love you, Mama and Papa. Alright, and finally, be warned. Berthold, I found one of our brothers attempting to put a package in the post boxes for the others to find. I believe it to be the evidence of your sister's involvement in witchcraft you spoke to me about. I attempted to stop him, but he insisted that I would burn for her crimes if I was attempting to cover her deeds. You should warn her. See if the 2 of you can flee the city before they reach her, your friend and brother. So there's the 2 that we found earlier as we were coming into the backyard. Alright, let's see if we can get into the building without alerting the guards. Save, just in case I can't. It's not very useful. Nope. We can come along this ledge, and you actually can't access this room here any other way. Yep, it's just the wind. Little broadcast station. Unfortunately, in this game, you can't use the microphones. You can in the second game, but not here. First stricture, excerpt from a work detailing one of the 7 strictures. We strict the wandering gaze that looks hither and yonder for some flashing thing that easily catches a man's fancy in one moment, but brings calamity in the next. For the eyes are never tired of seeing, nor are they quick to spot illusion. A man whose gaze is corrupted like a warped mirror that has traded beauty for ugliness and ugliness for beauty. Instead, fix your eyes to what is edifying and to what is pure, and then you will be able to recognize the profane monuments of the outsider. Lots of brine hagfish. This guy really seems to like his hagfish snacks here. Some gold bullets. And more hagfish. I wonder what the backstory of that guy is, whoever works here and stores all this hagfish. Alright. Let's see if we can get in here. Then we go into the meeting chamber.
For the outsider himself,
so that's the other way in.
5 attributes by which he hopes to defeat the righteous.
Got a sermon going on over here.
For he waits every hour.
Take this guy out. So here we see the ashes of past high overseers. They got their own little stories here.
He is strong.
Benjamin Holger. His words will drive us ever onward. Founder of the order, wrote Reform and Tradition. Knife driven through his eye during the siege of Whitecliff. That's why you always see his statue with a kind of a jeweled eye. John Clavering, may his light guide our path through the murk. Instrumental in the construction of the abbey, his deft hands illuminated early copies of the 7 strictures, consumed by fever in his bed. Falk Barrow, his hand will ever be on our shoulders, contributed several chapters to the sayings of the overseers, introduced the right of the watchful eye, fell down a flight of stairs. He wasn't all that watchful, was he? A little suspicious. Abram Templeton, a pillar of justice standing above the clouds of iniquity, wrote the opening of the litany on the White Cliff, taken by consumptive illness. You read his book earlier. Francis Perry, his sacrifice will never be forgotten. First overseer to personally encounter in combat an incarnation of the outsider. Went missing during the Fugue Feast, his body was never found. So what's in the urn? John Breton, he was a blade held aloft for the everyman, aided in hiding the book of strictures from being burned by enemy fires, run through with a spear during the siege of Whitecliff. Although his urn has been damaged, it appears.
For he has lived long ages before we are born, and will continue thus.
Zip across here. Oh! Knock him out, and ouch. Hope that doesn't bring any others here. Let's.
She thinks on curious subjects, machinery, numerical calculations. And only yesterday she spoke of a wish to read a book.
A book?
So I do.
This
Heresy.
is very troubling. For such a young lady is easy prey to the outsider, if not already within his grasp. Watch her carefully for signs of it. She may fall into fits, or be heard speaking to the empty air, or laugh or cry without provocation. Perhaps a disfigured man may come and inquire after her, or you might discover small
Okay. Stephen Gainsford. His spirit was a sharp light piercing the gloom. First to discover the discordant scale, a champion against the forces of corruption. Died testing a harness designed to protect its wearer from high falls. Well, clearly it didn't work. Scott Grafton. He drove back the darkness so he might have peace. First overseer to forge into Pandacia to purge darkness wherever it might be found. Died of plague. Cremated with Holger's opal to honor his battle with the plague. And High Oracle, Gwen Horncroft. So this is our first High Oracle. Her insights aligned us in our time of greatest need. First woman inducted, founded the Oracular Order, succumbed to madness. So the Oracular Order is the order for women, and what they do is, they instead of going out and enforcing, they kind of live in seclusion and try to gain visions of the future. They predict the future, and they kind of tell the overseers just generally what they should do, and then the overseers kind of go out and do it based on the visions that they've had. They figure a bit more in Death of the Outsider, but not so much here. Wright Matson. By his innovation do our ranks now swell. Initiated the trials of aptitude. Defenestrated during the night of flung shudders. That's a great word. I overseer Tynan Wallace. His fires left nothing behind but the righteous and true. Led the first of the great trials. Tortured and burned over 1,000 heretics. Died in bed of old age. He got what he deserved, huh?
Great winged shape seen circling far inland, if such reports are
Oh
to be
yeah,
believed.
is the outsider a serpent?
But the
Let's see what he
outsider
says here.
is something else, not of flesh, a being that haunts creation from first to last, incorporeal, but not without force and influence. And so, briefly and in conclusion, not a winged serpent.
Not a winged serpent. High Oracle Dahlia Simonos. Her inquisitive mind left nowhere for corruption to hide. First woman of southern blood to join the order. Opened relations with the Curnows and founded an oracular chapel there. Assassinated by agents of the outsider.
In dreams, I have seen my hands raised against my own child. Has the outsider already corrupted me?
In the life of High Overseer Perry, it is written that the great man conversed with the outsider in dreams. So it is true that he may walk there. But as to raising the hand, it is not always wrong to do so. I myself benefited by many a chastisement in my youth. Many indeed, and not lacking in enthusiasm.
So yeah, the overseers like corporal punishment. I am shocked, not at all. Let's see if we can sneak past these guys. And yes. Right past. Alright, so now we're on the second floor here. Here's our map. Hear the rune inside there. very conveniently placed little cubbies to hide bodies. If you start to stack a bunch of bodies up in one place, they will start to despawn by themselves. The game can only handle so many bodies in one place, so if you want to make a pile of bodies, unfortunately they will start going away on their own. You'd think these guys would know their way around without consulting the map all the time, but it does make it very easy to choke them out. If you compare the masks that these overseers wear here in this game with the get these rats so they don't eat them, with the ones they wear in Dishonored 2, so the ones in 2, because it's in a warmer climate, the masks are kind of there's much less of them. Turn off this
Did you
get
get caught in the lockdown last night?
6
I think
hours.
the idea is that
Search the place top to bottom, and nothing to eat but the
every
swill we
location
hand
has
out
its own
free.
kind of
Of course we didn't find anything.
Did I ever tell
unique
you?
uniform.
One time one of the second floor shutters got stuck open, and I thought I could slip out. I couldn't find a way down, and by the time I got back, it had snapped shut. I spent the rest of lockdown out on a ledge.
Maybe the outsider was watching.
There's a little bit of dialogue that tells you that if you set off an alarm, the windows will kind of snap shut. The whole place will go on lockdown. Which is why I deactivated the alarm. These guys have no peripheral vision.
Back to the beginning. It was Martin's...
On branding heretics, the heretic brand is reserved for those overseers who have committed heinous acts against the order, but have not broken codes that would otherwise result in execution. No contact, aid, or shelter can be given to one bearing the brand. That person is forevermore unwelcome to the Abbey and its affiliates. When used, the brand is applied to the forehead, so all can see the sins of the recipient. The chemical compound acts immediately, scarring the heretic for the remainder of life. The interrogation room here at the office of the High Overseer stands ready for branding ritual. Should the need arise, the recipient must be strapped into the interrogation chair and restrained as the brand is applied. The heretic brand itself is to be stored in interrogation room,
But why
which is next door.
The one man feared throughout the
Stricture,
Empire.
already read that.
He's as skilled as they say.
Disclosure
They got
log number
through there with half the
965.
watch looking for...
Name Dylan Jacobs, admitted violations, theft of neighbor's food, recourse half wages to be given to neighbor for a month. Name Millicent Ridgway, admitted violations, adultery, recourse 1 year in the service to the order. Name Robert Young, admitted violations, spying on his neighbor as she bathes, recourse public humiliation in the stocks for 2 days.
He had help, yes, but how far does it go? The trail goes to Martin.
It's pretty arbitrary.
But Martin knows everyone, everywhere.
But not surprising. Confiscation log 2749. Archibald Pelling recovered effigy of the Lord Regent, sentenced to 3 years of imprisonment at Coleridge. Jeez. Beatrice Gold, collection of animal skulls carved with pictographic sigils. Home confiscated. Charles Hanley, book of rituals. Home and property seized. Banished to the flooded district. So yeah, these guys don't mess around. What's this? Second stricture. Restrict the lying tongue that is like a spark in the heathen's mouth. It is such a little thing, yet from one spark an entire city may burn to the ground. Better to live a life of silence than unleash a stream of untruth. The echoes of lives come back as the voice of the outsider. Deposition log 73826, the case of Agatha Harcourt. Deposition from Mary Wallace. I smelled a peculiar stench coming from Agatha's window one night. As I looked in the window, I saw her burning over a fire the bones of something small, along with clumps of hair. Deposition from Herbert Alcott. On several evenings, as I came home from work, I saw Agatha peering at me unnaturally behind her curtains. On the 5th day, I felt a pain in my stomach upon approaching her home. Outcome? Agatha's home was searched. Several outlawed items were found, and Agatha was caught as she attempted to flee from the back door. Her interrogation yielded little of use. Home and property seized for the Abbey. Remains cremated. Coast map. 75 coin. Movements at Corvo-Tano. Known movements returned after an official deployment of roughly 2 months after departure from Crystal. Mission included stops at other major isles at the behest of the Empress Jessamine Caldwin, arrived bearing ill news, immediately apprehended for her murder. Last confirmed sighting and entered sewers under Coleridge Prison after escaping execution under unusual circumstances. Testimony from citizenry, trade Dover, confidence moderate, unconfirmed statement, person matching subject's description seen conversing with unknown woman near front gates of the Academy of Natural Philosophy. Testimony from citizenry, Benjamin Harrowby, confidence low and confirmed. Statement person matching subject's description seen fraternizing with Oxford just outside the city. From Charlotte Cadenhead, low secondhand overheard conversation implying one of the parties involved had knowledge of subject. Suspected alliances unknown. Recommendation search of the estate district based on subject's prior position of authority and privilege. They are looking in all the wrong places. Alright, here's the interrogation room. It's broken up into a couple different sections for some reason. See a chair down there, torture chair. And over here we find the Heretics brand and another copy of the instructions.
What we have is a man, aged 30 perhaps, slender. Unusual tattooing on the face and chest, probably superstitious heresy. Wearing some sort of industrial mask when we brought him in. Stolen out of one of the whaling factories from the look of it. You're one of Dowd's men, aren't you? Caught at last? Give us a name at least. What's wrong with his eyes? Opium? Laudanum? Are you with us? What's he doing? Some kind of fit? He's gone. Here it is, a pin, hidden in one of his gloves. Subject has administered some kind of poison. The effects seem to have been lethal.
That shows you the dedication and loyalty of Dowd's whalers. The Great Trials, excerpt from an overseer's findings by High Overseer Tynan Wallace. Spending 2 years in the company of heretics, the insane, and those rare black-hearted villains who are truly practitioners of magic, I can say with truth that I have seen such things as to break the minds of most. While the trials and burnings weigh heavily upon my heart, I must chronicle what has been a unique opportunity to witness the multifarious perversions that the outsider bestows upon those who seek his black counsel. Many of those we faced were accused of bewitching their neighbors or family, controlling them from afar, or even walking around in their skins. And I have seen this with my own eyes, as one woman slid into the form of another, prowling unseen until a vigilant overseer struck down both the witch and her host. Others, detailed herein, were found to stand in two places seemingly at once, or to vanish from one place and appear in another. Our work was dire, we knew, for if the followers of the outsider can truly inhabit the skin of another, or move from place to place like the wind, then how can we hope to erect walls to keep him out? It was these trials that first led us to investigate barriers beyond the physical. Locker here, pouch. And we took the interrogation room key off of one of these guys. Here's the torture chair, the whaler's mask, and instruments of torture. And another locker. All four. So here's the courtyard. You can see potentially blink up here from out there and come right in. Thing about the AI in this game, if you take out guards in one place, others, if they notice their absence, will actually take over the route and kind of fill in. So you always have to be on watch for guards, even in a place where you've already gotten rid of them. Alright, let's go in and do this part. So there are a couple of different ways to handle this. Try to show a couple of them here so you can see a few different endings.
She'll be found.
Save. Let's do a hard save.
My men are searching district by district.
The poor girl.
Callista's a resourceful one. Probably found a safe place to hole up in all this chaos.
I'm gonna reload. I don't know why I got that.
Come straight to you. Time for drinks. I hope you won't refuse. It'll make this business.
Alright, so let's see what we can do here.
Locked. One of the servants must have been in here. Let me see. It seems
Okay, so we can see what do we want to do first. Switch to Campbell. Poison Campbell first.
Not that one. No. Ah, here we are. Now if you'll join me, men will come get you when we're finished.
Kind of want to stay hidden because if Curnow doesn't see you saving him, he'll still
I don't understand
be
how this got so
you.
unpleasant.
Oh, I agree. A whore dies and suddenly this. Will you have wine? It's a Tivian Red.
Thank you.
Now, to business. What would you say happened last night?
To be honest, I'm not even sure. My men, your overseers, a few whores, maybe a little too much ale. One harmless prank with a runaway chicken, and 10 minutes later, Trevor's Alley is a sea of blood and teeth.
Trevor's Alley is a place we'll visit in the DLC.
Take it easy there, old son.
I'm all right, Curnow. But down the wrong way. Now about these overseers.
Who are just as guilty as my own men, if not more.
But my overseers have a name to protect. I can't allow you to... Oh no. This can't be happening. Who's done this?
What on earth are you talking about?
No time. Listen carefully. You must... instruct the Lord Regent to burn the Black Book. Understand? Burn it!
What Black Book? What do you mean?
Tell him. Warn them. And then die of plague, you useless incompetent. I never liked you.
Some great last words.
What in the world? Campbell? He's dead. Guards! Guards, get in here!
They don't usually pick this option, so I'm not sure if he survives each
By the
time.
prophecies, what have you done?
He's been poisoned. There was a younger of your order in here before. An initiate, perhaps. Detain him.
You don't give orders here.
Don't be a fool. He must be running already. Get after him! I'll be filing a full report.
Stuff your report, Curnow, and I'll have your weapons at once.
Idiot! One step closer and I'll gut you.
You've forgotten where you are, Captain. You've no power here.
You'll regret this! Ring the alarm! To arms! We'll have to fight our way out.
All mouth, no trousers.
Okay. So I think he'll run out and eventually he'll be considered saved if he escapes. Let's reload and do another option.
My men are searching district by district.
The poor girl.
Callista's a resourceful one. Probably found a safe place to hole up in all.
If my overseer's
Again, why did I
here
do
anywhere,
that?
I'll come through to you. Time for drinks. I hope you won't refuse. It'll make this business pass all the quicker. Locked. One of the servants must have been in here. Let me see. It seems I have the wrong one. Not that one. No.
If I knew how, I would speed up past this.
Here we are. Now if
I
you
need to
join
watch it
me,
again and again, but
men will come get you when we're
not
finished.
quite that skilled.
Keep each other entertained. Good time.
I don't understand how this got so unpleasant.
Oh, I agree, I agree. A whore dies and suddenly this. Will you have wine? It's a Tivian red.
Thank you.
Now, to business. What would you say happened last night?
To be honest, I'm not even sure. My men, your overseers, a few whores, maybe a little too much ale. One harmless prank with a runaway chicken, and 10 minutes later, Trevor's Alley is a sea of blood and teeth.
I almost wish I'd been there.
Tivian, you say? Bit dry.
Now, I know you'll agree that we can't allow word of overseers behaving this way to reach the populace.
You can't seriously expect me to... Campbell, this wine's rather strong.
Is it? You're not a lightweight, are you?
I can't feel my hands.
Really? Can you feel yourself dying, you ridiculous parasite?
What did you say? Campbell.
I do love my life. Can he be dead? Guards, come at once! An assassin has poisoned Curnow, this noble soul. Lock the place down and search the offices from top to bottom. Soldier breached. I'll be in the sanctum, as we discussed. We must deny any assassin his most valuable target.
There you see the windows coming down. Okay.
My men are searching district by district.
The poor girl.
Callista's a resourceful one.
Actually, I don't think I've ever actually done
Found a safe place to hole up in all this chaos.
poison both.
If my overseer's here
I have no idea what's going to happen. Should be interesting.
Time for drinks. I hope you won't refuse. It'll make this business pass all the quicker. Locked. One of the servants must have been in here. Let me see. It seems I have the wrong one. Not that one. No. Ah, here we are. Now if you'll join me. Men will come get you when we're finished. Keep each other entertained. Good time?
I don't understand how this got so unpleasant.
Oh, I agree, I agree. A whore dies and suddenly this. Will you have wine? It's a Tivian red.
Thank you.
Now, to business. What would you say happened last night?
To be honest, I'm not even sure. My men, your overseers, a few whores, maybe a little too much ale. One harmless prank with a runaway chicken, and 10 minutes later, Trevor's Alley is a sea of blood and teeth.
I almost wish I'd been there.
Tivian, you say? Bit dry.
Now, I know you'll agree that we can't allow word of overseers behaving this way to reach the province.
You can't seriously expect me to... Campbell, this wine's rather strong.
Is it? You're not a lightweight,
Is it just the same track?
That's embarrassing. Can't feel my hands.
Really? Can you feel yourself dying, you ridiculous parasite?
What did you say? Campbell.
Oh, is that the only difference? Alright. Not terribly exciting.
My men are searching
the poor girl.
Okay, so this is the
Callista's a resourceful one.
most interesting one.
Found a safe place to hole up in all this chaos.
If my overseers hear any word, I'll come straight to you.
I usually just sleep dart Kimball right here in this room. And then if you've taken out enough guards ahead of time, you can just carry him to the interrogation room pretty easily.
It seems I have the wrong one. Not that one. No. Ah, here we are. Now if you'll join me. Men will come get you when we're finished. Keep each other entertained meantime.
I don't understand how this got so unpleasant.
Oh, I agree. A whore dies and suddenly this. Will you have wine? It's a Tivian Red.
Thank you.
What on... Who's been in here? I owe you an apology, Captain. This is hardly the hospitality I planned for you. Well, time to do this the hard way.
What was that, Campbell?
Never mind. It's a stroke of luck for you, Captain. I'm forced to break out the real vintage. Leave the men here. But we'll have to share with all of them.
Very well, Campbell. As long as we get this little dispute settled.
Is it? Nope. Okay, so they're gonna go down into the secret chamber, and we gotta follow at a distance here. See, if you knock Kimball out here and just let Curnow go, he'll alert and then he'll run away. But if he sees you, he will become aggressive toward you, so it's better to stay hidden. But if you wait for them to go down here, we'll see what happens.
For such a young lady is easy prey to the outsider, if not already within his grasp.
There's actually a collection box out there in the main area. You can rob it if you want. There's not a whole lot of coin in it.
Once they are brought here, they never leave. The overseers always find the guild they seek.
I think I can use the heart on an unconscious body, so let's do that later.
you see this painting? Believed to be early Sokolov. Something primal.
Early.
The way the brushwork slashes.
We watched him paint it. Can't be that early.
If you say so, Campbell. I can't say I have an eye for this sort of thing. Give me a good battle scene anytime and I'm happy. Or a man hunting. If there's a pretty...
Sleep guard him after he draws his sword.
You have my thanks. Though by all rights, I should probably arrest you. You seem familiar, even with that mask on. No matter. This once I'll just go my own way, and you yours.
Gee, thanks. Blackmail journal. He's now got to carry him all the way back up to the interrogation room.
Overseer Sturgis.
And now we can brand him. And there goes Curnow, rescued. He's hard on this guy. Yeah.
Campbell breaks all 7 strictures each day. It's his own little joke. He angers easily and takes revenge without mercy. The High Overseer, Thaddeus Campbell. Don't let the talk of faith fool you. Campbell is vain, lustful, decadent, and completely corrupt. He uses his position of power for personal gain and the pursuit of pleasure. Campbell breaks all 7 strictures each day.
Nothing we didn't already know,
It's his
really.
own little joke.
You can use it on the location.
Where have the overseers gone? They wade through chest high waters with their hounds.
It's foreshadowing.
Somewhere near
The
a
DLC.
man has just taken his last breath. His eyes are still open. Misery. Everywhere.
Uh-oh.
If he comes back, I'll learn it.
Corruption. Such hypocrisy. Make me look on it no more. They are burning whales. Once they are brought here, they never leave.
Okay, I think that's it. And
Seals always find the ale they seek.
okay, let's go. Alright, and before we leave, there's one place I forgot to visit. And if I can get up on this ledge, I always have a hard time getting up here, so. You save. So this is that area where we gained access to the backyard. And this little side alley here, go right down here. There's a sealed room. And what is this room? Abductee Manifest. The following children have been brought to Godfrey's farm, awaiting passage to Whitecliff on the 13th day, month of Seeds. Jude Thornton, Ada Hargreave, Nicholas Rains, Patrick Fagan, Roland Williams, Zachary Clendon, Thomas Jordan, Kent Hodgson. Ration allotment: 12 crusts of bread, 1 wheel of blood ox cheese, 5 tins of brined hagfish. Tales for children. Oh, we already read this. Unfortunately, not reading that again. So yeah, this is where the overseers temporarily keep the children that they abduct before sending them on to Whitecliff for their initial overseer training. So, see, you've got this cage here with some mattresses, some dolls. So it's, yeah, pretty dark. And no other way out, of course. Okay, that's it. Let's get out of here. Get up there. No. That double jump, combined with blink, can really take you a long way.
Is that you?
It is indeed I. Alright, finally at the end of this long mission. It took 3 videos. I thought it was going to take 4, but this has been a long one. I think the vast majority of the lore that you come across is in this mission, maybe the next one, so
Hey,
after
Corvo,
that it might not be so
it's
bad.
Samuel.
If I end
here.
up doing them.
From the way I hear it, Campbell lived a pretty posh life. Maybe it's not my place to say, but men of the faith shouldn't live like barons. Are you ready to go? Okay, let's go.
Let's get out of here. Okay, well, no kills, but certainly didn't remain undetected. Still no chaos though. Did all the Granny Rags missions, got Griff, Brandon Campbell, saved Curnow. 6 of 7 runes. Well, I mean, I got them all, but I reloaded to show the other way in, so technically I got them all. All the other stuff. Still less than half the coins. There are a lot of coins in this game that are just very difficult to find, so if you're a completionist, there's a challenge for you. Anyway, that's it. So if you watched all the way to the end of this, I don't know why anyone would, but if you did, thank you very much. And we'll see if I'll do the next ones. If it proves to be worth it, I will. If not, well, we'll see. So, all right, thanks a lot.